Okay, so up next we had the Zigglers versus the Mizzes. Dolph Ziggler and R-Truth, a.k.a. R. Ziggler, versus The Miz and Damian Sandow, a.k.a. Damian Mizdow. And I just want to say, even though this match wasn't really anything to write home about, JBL's commentary specifically in this match was hilarious because he kept on saying that R-Truth looked exactly like Dolph Ziggler. And now, let me just point out, Jerry Lawler got a whole heck of a lot more annoying in this match because apparently now he is a Miz fan, and he was doing the same thing with Miz and Sandow. Cole, being the intelligent one, said Damian Sandow has a freaking goatee that you can see from a mile away. But the hilarious part about JBL is that he knew that neither one of the other guys was going to be like, you do realize that R-Truth is black, right? Because just saying that hits your ears wrong, and it sounds offensive even though it's just true.
Right, exactly. Just, I don't know. You'd think that this whole program between Miz and Ziggler, maybe I wouldn't be so crazy about because of the comical elements of the stun doubles, but I've actually really enjoyed it. I think it's one of the better undercard programs. Again, as we've been saying for quite a few weeks now, it seems like Miz has really finally found a gimmick that just clicks, and that even if I would tire of it, I still wouldn't say that it's bad for him. I do think this is a perfect fit for him. Damian Sandow having actually a consistent gimmick being the Miz's stun double is hilarious. And I know you love it, Ashton, because Damian Sandow is so committed to it. Like, even the smallest gestures, even the smallest mannerisms of the Miz, Damian Sandow seems to have down, which just makes it all the better. And then, of course, you have Dolph Ziggler as a champion, which I will never tire of, ever. So, yeah, a lot of great stuff going on here.
Yeah. I really enjoyed JBL's commentary for this. When I have to ask, are they trying to make Jerry Lawler a heel commentator again?
I don't know, because I was surprised by his admission that he was a fan of the Miz. And then Michael Cole criticizes Lawler, which was just so hilarious from the irony standpoint, given their history and their personal rivalry, and the Miz was actually an aspect of it. Which is just so funny that Lawler says that he's a fan of the Miz now, saying as how it was Miz who kind of prevented him from living his dream of being a WWE champion, along with Cole, who's now criticizing him for being a Miz fan. The whole thing, again, it's WWE not even remembering their past history, so it's pretty crazy. But maybe they are turning Lawler heel again, and if so, I could get behind it. You know,
I will tolerate it as long as they replace JBL.
Yeah, and you know what, Ashton? It's funny because I was watching No Mercy 2007 on the network a couple of days ago, and you know, you could just tell, I think, that Jerry Lawler enjoyed himself and really cared a lot more when he was working alongside Jim Ross. That, like, I still enjoy their chemistry and their camaraderie. It's still my favorite announce team. I mean, I grew up with those guys. So, you know, I want to see Lawler care about his work again, to put his back into it, to not seem like he's just showing the network or going with the flow or making bad jokes. So maybe him becoming a heel commentator, maybe that would light the fire under him, because he's great at being a heel. So, you know, I would actually like to see him turn. Again, as you said, if they got rid of JBL, maybe brought up Regal. He can pull double duty between being NXT general manager and a commentator for one of the main shows. I mean, he's just that wonderful. So, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it could work if they were like, okay, JBL, we appreciate you, but you can go back to climbing mountains now. And they're like, Lawler, we want you to be heel now, so we can call up Tom Phillips to be a babyface. Or alternatively, if we're sticking to the color commentary, because Tom Phillips is more of a play-by-play guy, if we're sticking to color, we're calling up William Regal, who is going to be a babyface.
Yeah. And honestly, dude, like, for people who do enjoy JBL's commentary, I don't even think you'd have to get rid of him, because there's still SmackDown. He can still have SmackDown. It's just Lawler would be the heel on Raw, and then JBL would be replaced with the likes of a Regal, or I guess if we are thinking in the lines of color, maybe a babyface Byron Saxton, but I don't think that would work too well.
Oh.
So
Saxton's better at play-by-play too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's all right at color, but if he's doing color, he has to be a heel.
Right.
So he's better off being play-by-play babyface than color heel.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that. Oh, dude.
What?
What if they're doing this to bring up Renee?
You think?
I read a report last week or 2 weeks ago that Raw commentary was in the future for Renee Young.
Wow. That is, yeah. See, dude, I always believed that Renee would make it to one of the main shows, but it was only recently that she got promoted to Superstars. So, wow, they must really think a lot of Renee and think
I
very
wonder
highly
if
of her.
Vince watched Takeover.
Maybe he did.
Because she was commentating for all but one match on that show.
Yeah, maybe he was. I'd love Renee on Raw commentary. I mean,
Holy crap, that just hit me like a brick, man.
That would be awesome, dude.
I don't know if I would even say it would be awesome, because we don't know if she's a good commentator or not. Like, we've seen her do NXT and stuff, but, like, we've also seen Jason Albert pass as a decent commentator on NXT, so what does it really mean?
That is true.
Even Alex Riley has gotten to the point that he has actually been pretty good on NXT commentary.
Right.
I think the only guy that I don't really like that much as far as NXT commentary goes is that Rich Brennan dude.
Oh, he is awful. I think WWE knew it too, so they relegated him to like a backstage hand, doing interviews and stuff, because I saw some of the TakeOver exclusives.
You know what horrifies me about him is that he might be the next Michael Cole.
Oh.
That guy that fans really hate, but he's a good employee, so they make him like this super high featured guy.
Right.
Scares the crap out of me.
And for good reason, I'm sure. I'm open to it. I think, you know what, I'll go back and I'll watch some episodes of Superstars simply to hear how Renee does a commentary on that show. But man, if that's coming, how huge for Renee, and really, I guess how big for the announce team, because I hate to be that guy, but I think she would be the first, like, female play-by-play commentator on a main show in WWE, so it's a nice accomplishment there, Renee, so yeah. If it happens, so we'll have to wait and see.
If it happens. Alright, so up next, we had actually, you know what? We had a backstage segment. Tom Phillips backstage with Seth Rollins, and this segment was so awkward. It felt like the WWE gave Rollins a little bit of extra slack, and they were just like, all right, Rollins, rather than scripting your promo completely, we're just going to give you bullet points for this one, and you have a little bit of extra room to improvise if you want. And Rollins completely dropped the ball.
He did. It's disappointing, because the thing is...
Dude, the knuckle dragging thing, I think that even though I get where he was coming from, that could be really misinterpreted considering Roman Reigns' ethnicity.
Yeah, exactly.
And to top it all off, he goes, Roman Reigns is 1/3 Samoan, 1/3 gorilla, and 1/3 rhinoceros. I don't know.
It's just such a shame, because with some friends that I talked to when I heard that Tyler Black was coming to WWE, which was Seth Rollins' ring name in Ring of Honor, for those who don't know, one of the biggest complaints was, again, the mic work. And I saw some, and he was hit or miss. But then I think he really came into his own, especially with the Shield, where he had some standout moments on the mic. And then he goes solo, and his promos haven't been horrendous until tonight. I think you could make a contention for that being the first time. But it's like, I don't know. When he spoke for the Shield, maybe it was easier for all three guys to come across looking good because they divvied up the time. But now that he's standing alone, he's not horrendous, but I think, like I said to one person, I think he suffers from like Triple H syndrome, where he goes on and on and on, really just belaboring one central point that could have been made so long ago and then moved on. It's funny because all three guys in the Shield, because they had to divvy up the time, all of their promos were succinct, and I would continue the succinct model for Rollins and Reigns, and Ambrose can read me the phone book. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think he can get it together. Again, that's not even to be overly critical, but like,
I'm
it's
sorry,
weird.
dude, but like, just the rhinoceros line alone, just like, so much cringe. Like, awkward turtle doesn't even describe it. That was all the way into the realm of anxious aardvark, dude.
I know, right?
He's a rhinoceros because he's really powerful, but rhinoceroses, they tend not to be very smart.
And look, I was a fan of babyface John Morrison. I know bad mic work when I see it, and this was bad.
Yeah, I mean, even if he wanted to go the route of somebody like an animal that is big and powerful, but is really dumb and tends to kind of lose sight of the big picture when they set their sights on one thing, a moose would be a perfect example. Have you ever heard of mooses going into like this ridiculous outrage where they see one thing and they just charge it until they feel like they've killed it?
I think I have heard of that.
Yeah, like I could see him using that, but a rhinoceros? Why? Does Roman Reigns have a nose horn that I didn't know about?
I don't know, maybe it's because he uses the spear and Seth Rollins is thinking back to his days as a Rhino fan and the gore and maybe just all got messed up.
Oh god, I think you're right too, dude. That's totally what it was. He was thinking, well, Reigns uses a spear. Edge used a spear too, but an edge isn't really an animal. Who else used a spear? Goldberg, but I'm not going to call him a Jew, so maybe... maybe...
Oh my god, the delivery of that line just caught me off guard. Holy shit.
Maybe Rhino? Oh yeah, let's call him a rhinoceros. That's why it took so long for him to say it too. He had that thought process going on.
The fact that you made that entire thing seem so legitimately thoughtful made me shit a brick. Well, I'm not gonna call him a Jew.
He's 1/3 Samoan, 1/3 gorilla, 1/3 Jewish. Because Goldberg.
Exactly. Oh my god. Only on TwitWow, folks. But yeah. Oh man. You know what? Let's just end it there before it gets any more anxious aardvark mating with awkward turtle to give rise to a whole new species that I am not even ready to take care of.